Hey guys, this is Coach Alyssa from Isabella Fitness, and I'm going to take you guys through a workout today. So first off, we're going to start off with a little warm-up. All right, once we go through our warm-up, I'm going to go through what our movements are, take us through how to skill those, and then we'll move on to our WOD. So first off, for our warm-up, we're going to start in a forward fold. So I'm going to have you guys stand straight up, and nice and slowly, we're going to bring our hands down our legs, and piece by piece, we're going to let our spine fold over, little inch by inch by inch, until we are at the bottom here. All right, so our forward fold, we're just gonna let everything hang. Can let our head hang here, just relax. Maybe we move a little side to side here. Letting everything relax. If you can touch your hands to the floor. If not, you can just leave them here on your leg, as far down as you can. We are leaving our legs completely locked out. We're not bending them at all here, so keeping them completely locked out. Just hanging out in our forward fold. I'm going to turn a little bit to each side, just to feel a little bit more of a hamstring stretch here on each side a little bit more intensely. And then to feel it a little bit more intensely just in the center too, you can lock your arms here and hold on, and that will weigh us down a little bit more here. We'll be able to feel that. We should feel some loosening in our back if anything was tight. Relaxing our shoulders, relaxing our neck. All right, now piece by piece, we're gonna come back up nice and slow, one piece of our spine at a time, until we're all the way up to standing. All right, from here, I'm gonna have us put our hands at our side, and we're just going to warm up one of the movements we're gonna be doing in our workout. So it's gonna involve our leg coming up nice and long, all right? Our leg here is gonna be a little bent. Our leg that's moving upwards can stay nice and straight, nice and long, all right? And we're going to keep this leg bent, core nice and tight, and we're gonna bring this leg up. Good, and we're gonna do a couple of these, all right? If we need to, this leg coming up can bend a little bit, especially if we're a little bit tight. For me, it feels a little bit more natural to come up with a little bit of a bent leg, not too much, but again, if you're a little tight, maybe we're coming up with a little of a bent leg, or if we feel like we can't get it that high, get it as high as you can. All right, so this is gonna warm us up for our workout. It's a little bit of balance as well, so you can see again, this leg that's down on the floor and is not moving is staying a little bit bent just to support that other leg. All right, and then we're gonna switch sides. So now I'm putting my weight a little bit more on this side, and this leg is gonna be the working one coming up. We'll do a couple on each leg. Right now, we should be feeling our core a little bit, starting to get a little bit warm. All right, keeping our hands at our hips and just getting a big kick up. We do want this to be controlled. We don't want to kind of just be, throwing it out there. We want it to be as long as it can be and controlled coming up and back down. All right, our foot should not be slamming into the floor on the way back down. All right, so a couple more here. And then we're gonna go into a couple of high knees. All right, now just to get a little bit warmer, we're gonna do some high knees. So my knees are gonna be coming nice and high into my chest. You can stay here, or You can get a little bit more of a hop to it, like our regular high knees. Knees coming high into our chest. Just to get our heart rate going up a little bit. Again, this is also an option, especially if you have anybody living underneath you and you don't want to wake them up. This might be a good way to do it as well. Okay, now that we're feeling nice and warm and we've gone through a couple of our movement warm-ups, I'm going to talk about our workout a little bit. So our workout is going to be 11 minutes, all right? Minute 1, we're going to do 30 seconds of walkouts. I'm going to go over what those are. And then our second 30 minutes in that first minute is going to be leg raises, tapping to our opposite foot. So that's when we were warming up with our legs coming up, a little bit of a core movement. Whereas our walkouts are going to be a little bit more hamstrings and a little bit of shoulders. All right, so minute 2 is going to be rest. So minute 1, we're working 30 seconds on our walkouts, 30 seconds on our leg raises to opposite hand. Minute 2, complete rest. So during that first minute, we should be working hard, right? It's only a minute of work, 2 different movements, so we're gonna be switching it up. It'll be very quick, and then we'll get that second minute of rest. Our cool down 2 we will do later after the WOD. All right, so right now, let's just skill out our 2 movements. So for our walkout, right, we're standing feet by side, hip distance apart. All right, and then from here, we're going to hinge forward. All right, I'm gonna back up a little bit here. We're gonna hinge forward. I do want us this time to keep a flat back. So instead of before when we were doing our forward fold, we kind of just let our back round here. On this one, I would like us to really focus on keeping a flat back, hips coming back, knees bending as we need to keep our back nice and flat. All right, then we're going to bring our hands down to the floor. So if that means bending more here, then we can. Hands will come to the floor. We're gonna walk them all the way out. All right, to a plank position. Nice high plank. We should be stacked here with our shoulders over our hands, keeping our core nice and tight. All right, and then we're gonna walk our hands back into our feet again, trying to come up and come down with a flat back position. All right, so to show that again, keeping a nice flat back, hips are hinging back, feeling my hamstrings engaged here, knees are a little bit soft, hands coming down, walking out into a plank. Once I hit that high plank position, hands can come back in to standing. All right, so that's gonna be our walkout. Now to talk about our leg raise to opposite hand touch. All right, so like before, the one knee that we're leaning into can be a little bit bent. We're gonna switch legs each time. All right, so you're going to bring this foot up. This time it may come up on a little bit of an angle because we're gonna tap our hand here. All right, so we're here and my knee is a little bit bent. You can see as it comes up, a little bit bent. Then I'm gonna switch legs. Now you wanna do these slow enough where we can stay nice and controlled. All right, and then 2, if we're too tight here, say we can't reach our hand, we can just do it nice and controlled with our hands at our hips here, bring it as high as we can. Or we can bend the knee a little bit more and tap it here on the inside. Tap here on the inside of our foot. All right, so for this one, to show it again, alternating legs, knee on the floor is bent a little bit here. And the whole time, keeping our core area, our abs nice and tight. Thinking about our chest and our belly button staying nice and together and not overextending here, trying to get our feet up. We shouldn't be leaning back, staying right here, everything tight as our foot's coming up. All right, So we went through our 2 movements. Now we're going to get started. All right, I'm gonna reset our clock for us so that we know each 30 seconds when they're happening. All right, so I'm gonna get started in 3, 2, 1, starting with walkouts. All right, I hit my 30-second mark, so I'm on to my abs portion. And rest. All right, so I'm just hitting that minute mark here. I'm gonna make sure that my clock stays on here. So we have a minute rest. During this time, you can grab some water, rest, relax. I'm gonna make sure that our screen stays on. All right, and this minute will pass by pretty quickly. We've got about 30 seconds left now. All right. Take a breather, we stretch it out, and then like I said again, with our walkouts and our foot to opposite hand, they are movements where we want to stay controlled. So are we going super fast? No, but we're moving at a good pace, making sure that each movement we're doing properly, and that's going to give us that feeling that we need for both movements. All right, so I'm going to get ready again. And we're back up in 3, 2, 1, coming down flat back, walk out, is back in. And once you have a solid foundation, you'll see that I'm moving a little bit quicker on the second one. And I'll be able to get more reps in here. Right into the core. And rest. All right, so we're at the 3-minute mark. We've got this minute full of rest. Then we're gonna move on to our next one. We'll have a working minute at the 4-minute mark, 6-minute mark, 8-minute mark, and then the 10-minute mark will be our last one. Our minute of rest would be that 11 to 12 minute, but because we're at the end at that point, we won't worry about that minute. So 11 minutes will be our cap here. All right, 20 seconds, and then we'll hop back in. Again, because we have this solid foundation, as you saw in the second round of doing this, moving a little bit quicker. All right, getting ready in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, walkouts. And then again, you can tell during that last 30 seconds when I was doing the core, my leg wasn't coming down hard, not smacking the ground. Probably only a little bit heard my foot coming down to the floor. But besides that, it was very controlled. So we'll get through a little bit more reps of our core movement because it's a little bit quicker, and a little bit less of our walkouts, but that's okay. Both are definitely focusing on core stabilization because we are hitting a high plank position on our walkout, which is keeping our core nice and tight, as well as here, keeping everything tight here. Remember, not overextending in this position. All right, back up at the 6-minute mark. Just coming up in 3, 2, 1. Moving on to the core. And that is our 7-minute mark. All right, take this minute of rest, grab some water. We have 2 more, one at the 8-minute mark, one at the 10-minute mark. One thing you'll notice too, that as we are working this motion, you're gonna feel your quads working as well. So they're gonna be working, pulling our leg up here as well as probably feeling a nice little stretch here in our hamstrings. So I'm starting to really feel that now on those. 20 seconds. I'm gonna get ready for my next set of walkouts. In 10, 3, 2, 1. Make sure that when we're doing these, we're coming down and we're not letting our hips sag. We do want to keep them here, their core nice and tight. That is one thing on a plank, our hips should never be bowing down. They should always stay up, keeping our core tight. All right, here. And rest. All right, one more to go. This is our last minute of rest before we finish it out. And then once we finish out that minute, we will go into our cool down. All right, just take a second. I'm gonna get ready for that last one. 30 seconds. And now I know that we've been through this a couple of times, right? We might be getting a little bit of a sweat on, we might feel a little bit tired in certain areas. I'm okay with us slowing down as long as we have proper form each time. Specifically with these movements, proper form is going to be super important. 3, 2, 1. Last time, working on toes to opposite hand. And rest. All right, so that is our 11-minute mark. Now we're gonna take a few minutes to do a little bit of a cool down and just move around those muscles that we used. All right, so we're gonna start back up in our forward fold that we did in the beginning. Right, shake out everything in here. Again, we're gonna slide down here, one piece of our spine at a time. Coming down into a fold. Allowing ourselves to relax here at the bottom. Legs can wiggle out a little bit. And we're just going to breathe here. This time, not keeping that back tension here, but just relaxing it, letting our back fold over. We can take deep breaths here. Again, we can turn to the side a little bit. Feel a little bit more of a hamstring stretch on each side. As we turn, we should be completely letting our lungs fill up and letting them out completely. Good, now inch by inch we're going to come back up. One piece of the spine at a time. And now we're going to go up and over a couple of times, up and down a little bit quicker. All right, so now we're going to bring our arms up and then back down. Coming down nice and slow, coming back up. Back down. Breathing in. Two more times. Good. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This was a really good skill session, specifically with today's movements. Again, proper form, super important if you really want to feel all these. Although it's not a super fast-paced workout, because of the movements we're doing and how much you have to think about each point, you're gonna feel it just based on those movements rather than how quick you're going. All right, great workout, guys, and I will see you in the next one.